September's have gotten to be a little bit hotter. You
Hmm.
know, you still can get a foot of snow in September though, bro. You know, when you're elk
Yeah.
hunting. So you have to pack, and just like in the military, like they teach you probably, I'm not military, but I would assume you guys understand the level of preparation you have to go into, and know all your gear, where it is in your ruck, and then how to use it. And same with your hunting partners, even like first aid kits. Like I need to know what my partner has in his kit, and he needs to know what I have and where I keep it. So there's just like,
Hmm.
I don't think you can be over prepared for elk hunting. I don't.
Well, and that's a good point. I guess there's a couple questions there. One that yeah, it could be 90 degrees, 95 degrees out there, hot as all get out, or it could be snowing, a foot of snow on the ground. So, are you having to pack everything from sort of the lightweight, like really breathable material that you can strip down to on those hot days, all the way up to, hey, I've got snowshoes and trekking poles. It sounds like you have trekking poles either way, but are you taking snowshoes with you as well to wherever your base camp is?
No, I'm not taking snowshoes, but I do have spikes that I can put on my boots and stuff like
Mm,
that. But I also pack a hot stove in the back of my truck in case I need to have a hot stove. Like it's called it's a Peaks Shelter. It's a 4P,
hmm.
and they have this titanium stove kit that I'll load out if I need to. And yeah, I have had it snow a foot in September. Again, all the stuff that I can't control. Like I can't control the animals. I can't control the weather, the hunting pressure. Um, I feel like I can't even really control the outcome. I only can control my effort and my attitude every day.
Yeah.
And there's a
How
couple
prepared
days
you are.
where you're like, it's a challenge to have a good attitude and to smile, because
Yeah.
I think elk hunting's romanticized. Um, you know, like our friend, mutual friend Evan. I don't know if he's done a ton of the other kind of hunting, where
Hmm.
it's backcountry, maybe public land, and good on him, because I don't know if he wants to sign up for that. A lot of it is pretty miserable. Like you're homesick. There could be days where you don't even see an elk or hear a bugle, which is
Hmm.
like, man, it's tough to stay positive and motivated. You might run into a pack of wolves and they've blown all the elk out, and um, it's it's a high risk, high reward type of hunting. I would describe it as, and I do it all. Like I'll do private, ranch, public, backcountry, front country. I just want to be out in the mountains, but I think elk hunting, generally speaking, from a media standpoint, might get romanticized, and I don't think enough people understand that there's a red pill and a blue pill, you know?
Hmm.
And if you really want to know how it is, got to go do it. And if it did suck most of the time, you weren't doing it wrong. That's kind of how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, specifically with that public land stuff, where the better in shape you are, the deeper you can go. And the deeper you can go means the harder it's going to be, the harder the pack out is, the harder the stock is, everything is harder. And yeah, I think what on some of those public land hunts, you're out there for what, 2, 3 weeks, just
Yeah.
like, I mean, it's a time commitment. It's not even just, are you in shape? It's, do you have the ability to take that kind of time? For a guy like Evan that's running a company and all this other stuff, a lot of people, right? They might get 10 days that they can allocate to a hunt, and that includes a travel day on both end and,
Yeah.
all that sort of stuff. Whereas for some of these types of hunts that you're doing, you're much more in that realm of like, I think about Donnie Vincent a lot, like where he'll go up to the Arctic for like a month and just, hey, dude, we're just going to be here until we do what we're, until the season ends or we get our animal. And there's that takes a certain type of person, certain mentality, certain life situation, I think, right?
It does. And I love Donnie Vincent, by the way. But to your point, like guys like Rogan and Evan, and I think a lot of people see them elk hunting, which I personally love. I appreciate. It
Mm-hmm.
helps grow the people that vote for a lot of this hunting rules and regulations that don't hunt. I'm not talking
Mm-hmm.
about anti-hunters. I'm never talking
Mm-hmm.
about them. They're dialed. They know where they stand and they're unified. But the hunting community, I feel like, needs bigger names like that to say, hey, no, hunting, this is like, we're getting our own meat. This is cool. Like,
Mm-hmm.
don't vote against this. Um, and then honestly, we're like Evan hunts, man, like it is probably the most highest pressure place on planet Earth as far as the actual pressure to get it done. and to not
Mm-hmm.
mess it up. And that dude's got ice in his veins, man. And I've hunted the same places he has, and I I wrestle with how much pressure is there to execute. And
Mm-hmm.
these hunts are usually filmed, and you do not get a second chance. Like, you can't screw it up. And that is probably just bow hunting in general, or hunting, is like, a lot of times we put so much pressure on ourselves that it's tough to rise to an occasion that you've
Mm-hmm.
never to a level that you've never prepared for. Like, when I was a firefighter, we'd always say, like, you fall back to your highest level of preparation. Maybe we stole that from the military, I don't know, but like, you get it. Like, that's
Mm-hmm.
why ElkShape is so much about over preparing, because we just want to be able to have had simulations in different scenarios and not like get exposed to something that we didn't cover in our off-season prep. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? But yeah, I mean, some guys can go to public land and get it done in a day. um for me, I went to Montana last year for a day and got it done that one day. But I was in Idaho for the entire month of September and never got it done. And I'm actually grateful for when I get failure, like that. Actually, I
Mm-hmm.
was like, oh, okay, so now I'm even more motivated, and I already was pretty dang motivated. So failure is what drives me. And if you think bow hunting doesn't involve mostly failure, you just haven't done it long enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you bring up a good point about, especially the high stakes. You have to, you're on camera. You have to make this shot. Most hunters, they don't have to deal with that kind of pressure. If they miss, they don't have to tell anybody, right? Like, hell, even if you wound, you might not necessarily, depending on your situation, might not necessarily need to tell anybody. For you guys, it's on camera. It's a part of the story. It's all of that. And my first hunt was filmed too, and I had some embarrassing stuff on camera. And I insisted it stay in the final cut of
Good for
that
you.
video, because it is the reality of it, and, and yeah, I guess the only thing that I can think of to compare it to is that, like, NFL field goal kicker, that has to go out there in front of a stadium and he's got one job: kick the ball through the uprights. That's it, or a golfer or something. I mean, there's these other, the NBA player that's got to make the free throw, and it's like, hey, you've got one, there's all these other things. You have one job. And with these sort of high pressure hunts, it's a similar thing. If you're a guy, I can't imagine, like, a guy like, like Cam Haynes's stuff is so out there, so publicized. His entire brand is built around his ability to get out there and get after it.
Mhm.
That's a lot. And I guess that kind of begs the question for you: does that pressure does it take away from the magic of a hunt for you, or does it just fuel the fire?
Yeah, no, I haven't really felt that kind of pressure until I, hunted a couple places that we were talking about where there's not public. Like, it's filmed. Um, if you mess up, everybody in camp will know about it, and
Mm-hmm.
you could let that affect you for sure. Um, like anything in life, I think it comes down to, like, what are you telling yourself? Like, what conversation are you having between the ears? Because something's going on, and
Mm-hmm.
if it is self-talk that is negative or doubtful, you'll talk yourself into failure. So I've always, tried to get loud in my head, so to speak, and just really, talk through, like, I'll give you an example. Like, I would be like, who here has shot more arrows than you this year? Who has moved a barbell, hiked and ran more trails and rucked? Like, you're good to go, man. Like, you've done it. You did. The hay is in the barn. Go execute. You got this. Like, and it's not always easy to do that in anything in life, but I do
Mm-hmm.
think we got to be careful about what kind of conversation are we having between the ears, and what are we telling ourselves, and where do you get your strength
Yeah.
from?
Yeah, that self-talk is so important. And these little mantras, like, for me, I'm sure you've got little things that you tell yourself, but every time I do something hard, and I've tried to infuse this with my kids too. My older daughter she's getting into swimming at a pretty high level, and she just started cross country this year. It's these things that are very individual, endurance based. Like, you got to have mental resilience
Yeah.
to do these things. And I've been trying to give her these little mantras, these little things that'll keep her in the right mental space. And one of them is just this little cadence I call to myself of make the hurt feel good, make the pain go away, make the hurt feel good, make the pain go away. And I'll just do that with every step, you know, as you're moving your way up a mountain, as you're moving through and what nasty stuff where you've got every incentive in the world to not keep going, to turn around. Do you have anything like that? Do you have your thing that you use in those sort of gritty moments? Or what's your happy place that you go to? Some people it's that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I have a mantra per se like that, but I
Mm-hmm.
do like that mantra. It makes sense to me. Um, I just have a ridiculous desire for success.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and I have this confidence about the way I elk hunt because I've done it so much and I have failed so much that I just have convinced myself, whether I'm in the heat of the moment or not, is that it all can change in a second. So I can go from not hearing an elk, not seeing an elk, running into other hunters, not seeing an elk sign, but I know all it takes is a second, and for whatever reason, a bull could bugle right behind me, step out on the trail, and from what went to Mission Impossible is now on the ground, and I have a lot of work to do. And I've had that happen to me so many times, Marty, that like I refuse to let myself ever feel like I don't have a chance. You know what I mean? As long as
Mm-hmm.
my effort and attitude are dialed. And elk season's not year round. It's only a finite number of days or weeks, and so it's a long off season. And I learned way long ago that if I don't give every day all I got, I will sit there and stew upon what if, what I coulda, shoulda. And so my new approach was, luckily I figured this out not too long ago. It's just like, man, you come back, whether you got one or not, you have to look yourself in the mirror and say, did I do everything in my ability to put myself in position for success? Yes, I did. Then I don't dwell upon the past. I'm
Mm-hmm.
moving moving forward.